Kendrick Lamar's new music video is an exact copy of my video from 2020 of my song Family Tree. Maybe I'm full of myself for thinking that Kendrick saw my video and was like, damn, that's so good that I want to do it myself. But I was under Universal. He is under Universal. I did that video in 2020 with Universal. Obviously, the song didn't do as good as if Kendrick was to do it, but the concept was so sick. And I fucking don't know, but it's the same exact thing. It's a backdrop. It's him in front of it. It's one take. And I want to make it clear, like, he's an icon. I respect Kendrick. Like, this is just very weird, bro. This is just very weird. That's why I was like, damn, this is unique as fuck. And when I drop this, it's going to go stupid because nobody's ever done this before. But as an independent artist, that's the type of shit you have to eat. And my whole message behind it is keep going, because you got to eat shit sometimes, but eventually you'll be all right.
Okay, so y'all just heard that audio clip from this rapper out of New Jersey named AK. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. Never heard of his music. He says he's an independent artist, but you know what's so crazy? I've heard of independent artists before, but I've never heard of this one. So I actually found out about this last night. And by the way, I'm recording this video on May 10th, 2022. And I actually found out about this last night on Facebook. But I never heard the audio in which you just heard of him speaking out about the situation. So basically the story is Kendrick Lamar just dropped this new song called The Heart Part 5. And in that video, it's just a plain backdrop. It's just him and a plain backdrop. It's no extra curricular stuff that you've probably seen in other Kendrick Lamar videos where it's a lot of moving pieces. It's just him just rapping with a plain dark backdrop. But in the video, he's using face morphing technology that makes him change his face a couple of times. I know in the video, his face changed to OJ Simpson, Jussie Smollett, Nipsey, Will Smith. And I want to say it was somebody else as well. I think he did like five face morphing people. And I'm telling you, that technology is so on point that they literally look like they just got their faces like right on him, and it doesn't look fake. It looks so real. Like, the technology is so advanced nowadays. But apparently this rapper by the name of AK did a video back in 2020 called Family Tree, in which he did a song sort of like what Kendrick did with a plain backdrop, and he was using face morphing technology in the video. But he says that video, he thought that it was so innovative that it was going to get a push by the label, that it was going to really skyrocket his career, probably outside of the independent artist status that he was already in. And keep in mind, him and Kendrick are on the same label. They're on the same label. They're not separated by any small fraction of the word. So they may or may not know each other. They may have crossed paths, but then again, they may have not. So he just basically is saying that, you know, he felt some type of way because of the concept is pretty much the same. And, you know, he's pretty much, you know, kind of try to scale it back and saying that he's not coming at Kendrick Lamar's neck about it, because a lot of the times when it comes to these labels, the artist has very little say about stuff like this. And it's the label that really is the last and final decision maker of a lot of concepts and imagery when it comes to the artist that's on their label. That's why a lot of artists go independent, or they go and do their own thing when it comes to their artistry and their music, and, you know, their videos and all types of stuff like that. My thing is this: while granted, when I was looking at it, yes, it is pretty much the same concept. It is pretty much the same thing. Like, if you put them side by side, it's pretty much almost the same exact thing. However, let's not forget who did this first. Let's not forget who did that face morphing technology thing the first time. This man right here, Michael Jackson, the king of music. Y'all know I don't like to call him and refer to him just as the king of pop, because I don't believe he should be limited to just one genre of music. Now, this right here is a image from when he shot his black or white video. That's him right there with the panther. And if y'all have not seen the entire full video of this, I highly suggest it. When I say the full video, I'm talking about at the end when he's doing the panther dance. That's what it's called. That dance is just phenomenal. And that just lets you know, just shows you the true artistry of this man. Long live the king. But the reason why many people, including myself, brought this up is because when AK was going, you know, pretty much going on his little rant about it, we was like, what you're doing is not, is not so much innovative because it's been done before. It's been done by Michael Jackson. Now, what makes it even more interesting is that with Michael Jackson, when he did it with the face morphing technology, is he did it back in the 90s. Black or White, that song and that video came out in 1991. We're talking over 30 years ago. We're talking like 31 years ago when that song and video came out, and how that was like the first time anybody has seen it. But see, Michael Jackson has always been an innovator, so a lot of stuff that he's done, it has been a first when it comes to artistry, you know, and entertainment. So him doing this, the man just managed to top himself a lot of times. But when he said that this is innovative, we're saying to ourselves, no, Michael Jackson did this 31 years ago with Black or White. And that was at a time when technology was nowhere near as advanced as it is today. And the thing that lets you know that it wasn't is because in that video, it was more than just face morphing technology. They had to morph the whole body because they didn't have the technology to just focus on the face. If you look at the video, the faces that are morphing, sorry about that. The faces that are morphing are showing pretty much the body is morphing. You know, because they show like from the face, from the head down to like around the shoulder area. So you can tell that they're changing the body. But even with that, back in the day, back in that time when their technology was nowhere near where it is at the caliber level that it is today, that was just simply impressive to actually see of him changing not only, you know, the faces, but also the gender. Like this guy was changing faces, races, you know, and gender. Opposed to how this guy did it, and even how Kendrick did it, it was just male faces that was being put on the body. But when Michael Jackson did it, you were changing the face, the race, and the gender of the person. You had men and women of all different backgrounds in that video in 1991. So while I understand to an extent, and that's a very short extent of why this AK rapper feels some type of way about how he feels about, you know, what Kendrick, you know, and the label has done, and he feels that it bit off of what he did. Let's not forget who did it first. Let's pay homage. And when it comes to that plain black background thing, I'm not going to put the, you know what, I'm going to put the picture up here, but I'm going to kind of, you know, show a more PG version of it. When it comes to the concept of the plain background, like just you in the background, I had to show it like this picture. Everybody, especially every woman born of a certain era, knows where this came from. This is the D'Angelo Untitled video, where he's, you know, How Does It Feel? Where it's just him, plain background, and, you know, just him. Like I don't have to go into details about this video and how big of a video this was back in like 2000 when it was released, and how big of a deal, even down to the controversial level of how this was. I mean, this video was parodied so many times on a lot of those late night skit shows like SNL, I think Mad TV. A whole bunch of people was parodying this video when it first came out because it was innovative. Nobody had thought to do a video in a plain background where you are pretty much naked from the waist down. They're not showing it. And you're just singing this song while you have a video, like we have a camera just zooming in and out of you and rotating around you and like literally up and down. Like, so back to what that AK rapper was saying with the plain black background concept, you can say that D'Angelo kind of inspired that. And not even just D'Angelo, because you had other artists before him who had done the plain background, because you got to think at a time when music videos were not a huge thing, like, you know, like how Michael Jackson innovated, you know, to push it forward. A lot of artists back in the day just had plain backgrounds. They just had a plain background while they stood and sang. Hell, you could say Michael Jackson did the same thing with the Rock With You video. He just happened to have a spotlight and a laser light in the back, a green laser light in the background, but it was a black background overall. And dare I say, Sinead O'Connor, you know what song I'm talking about. I can't think of the song, but y'all know what song I'm talking about. The one of the last songs she did before she ruined her own career. I think it's called, I forgot. Don't quote me on it. But y'all know what song I'm talking about. And that song came out in like the early 90s. So what he's doing or what he's griping about is not so much innovative, and it's almost like he just has a gripe to push. But it's just amazing that he had something to say when it came to, you know, being a black artist. Now it makes me wonder if this was a PC artist such as himself who did the same exact thing, and they were more like mainstream, like let's say that Eminem did this, would he have said something to Marshall Mathers? That's what I'd like to know. But that's pretty much my take on it.